Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Moonlighters Club. Joel Edwards here. And for the past month, I have been doing check-ins. I'm basically doing check-ins. God, I hate saying the word basically. This is gonna piss me off. I gotta figure out how to stop saying the word basically when I make simple factual statements. But I've been doing check-ins with everyone I've interviewed from the very beginning of the podcast. To hear how they're doing, to hear how things have been going, just to check in. Some of these people are good friends of mine. Some of these people went to school with me. Some I've just known for a very long time. So, with the concept of moonlighting being about employment and entrepreneurship, it's such a big part of our lives. I thought it'd be really interesting just to see where folks are at. Now, this guest, John, was at Suffolk University with me and was there around the beginning of this podcast creation. We were both trying to get into tech, and pretty man, we were both pretty frustrated with how things were going when we were in and out of like basically leaving school, figuring out how we were going to do things like get investment. And school ended. We kept in touch. Professional stuff happened. Life happens. So I thought, hey, let's check in. So John, how you been?
I've been good, man. Thanks for bringing me back. Um, I was just thinking about it, man. Like we've known each other for like over a decade now.
Yeah,
You
no.
know, like
I
I
like
think
to think
about it was just like yesterday, man. Like we were doing startup Saturdays, at Suffolk. Um, yeah, man, I've been good. Um, moved to New Hampshire. I was in Quincy during the pandemic, um, and you know, Dina and I decided to move up here because like Dina wanted to open up a store, and we went to property A, somewhere around Cambridge, Boston area, and then we went to property B, came back to property A, and they were like, "Yeah, that quote is old," and we were like, "What happened 72 hours ago? Why is that quote old?" And they were just giving us like some sort of it's like when the real estate agents like talk about, yeah, it's the economy, it's the stock market, like they were trying to give us like some sort of excuse like that. And then we were just like, you know what, let's look somewhere else. And so we wound it up in Nashua, New Hampshire. It's a bit more laid back. Landlords were a bit friendlier, they're a bit more like friendlier to small business owners. So we got our start there, and Dina's been flourishing. She just opened up her second store at the beginning of November of last year. So she's going on 3 years at the physical location in November. So
Nice,
yeah,
nice. Yeah, man, that the real estate in Boston is ridiculous now. Like I go there, it's good. It's interesting to go back there as we all have family in the area. I like going back at least twice a year, and it's funny going back now because you're like, all right, they're building it up. Boston's a pretty cool city to be, but just like trying to live there, it's so expensive, man. Like the real there's no real estate. The real estate is like non-existent. You're paying, it's 2 G's a month to live in a closet. It's crazy. So it's gotten extremely out of hand. I do like how certain neighborhoods have been built up,
yeah,
but certain neighborhoods have also been built down. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy to see how nuts Boston. But you like Nashville.
I love it now. At first, I didn't like it because everything closed at 8 o'clock at night,
Mm,
and I was just like, "What the hell, man?" Like, like the one thing about Boston is that things stayed open later. Like I could still get Chipotle at like 9:45. You can't do that here, man. Like things close, people got families. Yeah. But like one thing that I've noticed is that New Hampshire's very big on like making your house cozy, making your apartment cozy. So you just go to take turns going to people's houses.
nice.
So, yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's a it's laid back here. I didn't realize that I had road rage until I was living out here for a bit, and then I drove back into Boston, and I could feel my blood pressure rising, and I was just like screaming at people, and um, I was like, "Damn, I get it now." You know what I mean? because I'm not like that at all up here, man. Like there's just open roads, woods and open roads.
Interview we did. This was like 8 years ago. It was you and Andres, and you were just talking about all the stuff you were doing. You were building Yum Yum Picks. You were working. You were catering. You were helping your mom out, the
Yeah,
salon. Weren't you a barback too?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You were doing. Yeah,
yeah,
that was a nuts time. That was crazy. You were doing everything. You were working like 4 gigs at once. It was insane.
yeah, yeah, man. I don't know if I could do that anymore. Um, but you got to do what you got to do. I mean, like it was basically I did all that because I really believed in what I was doing. It was like, if you really boil it down, like it was my dreams, like, you know, if it was really that important, like missing out on a little bit of sleep,
Yeah.
working extra hours, just like the name of the podcast, Moonlighters, you know what I mean? Like you're burning the midnight oil. Um, I don't do that anymore, like, because, I will tell you that, like, I got shingles on my 29th birthday.
What?
Yeah, dude. And we share the same birth month, man, and like um yeah, man. I once I got shingles, like I got shingles because I worked. I think at the time it was like 38 weeks of overtime out of 52 weeks. And so I was just like, "Oh my god, like they kept on telling me that overtime doesn't exist in this call center." So I just kept on grabbing it all up. And nah, man, it's I'm all about the work life balance. Like, while I'm at work, no messing around, focus on what I came here to do, and then I'm gonna relax hard too. Like, I'm not taking phone calls, I'm not taking meetings
Yeah.
unless I know it's a sale. You know what I mean? Like, there's an active sale going out. Susie, sit your ass down. Like, I gotta take this. I gotta take this phone call.
So, when you graduated, what were you? Did you go into working at that call center right close to graduation, or did that come down the road?
No, I think like so what ended up happening was like right out of like during the time that we spoke, I was still doing the savory cater. And I did that for quite a while coming out of school. Um, but then like life happened. I ended up joining the union for a little bit. Um, and then like I loved it. I like if anyone is really good with their hands and they like to build things, take things apart, I totally recommend it. I don't think school is for everyone. Um, but then I joined this like self-help company, and then like the pandemic ended up happening. Like it just like I would have gone with that self-help company, but it was like too aggressive. Like minimum hours wasn't 40 hours a week. It was 62, right? And I was like, so you're saying that I can only see my wife and family and do my own thing uh on Sunday when everything's closed? So I like and then I ended up going into the call center. Like literally I signed up for the call center like December 2018, and then like 2 3 months later the pandemic hit and then everything was closed. So I'm grateful that I got that job because I could still work remote. um but yeah, man, like I had to make a change. Like I felt like I was working way too much, especially after getting shingles. Like I was working way too much and not getting rewarded for it. I don't know, like something. I my brother-in-law, shout out to Omar, because he got into tech sales, um, and he was like a year ahead of me, and
Hmm.
he was just telling me how much money he was making, and I was like, for real, like I've done sales before, and I've burnt myself out in my early 20s, and it's just like, um, I don't want to do it because like you like before it was like I was always on. I was always thinking about the next sale, the next sale, the next sale, and I didn't have any boundaries. I would like be taking calls at like 10 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? Um, chasing that money. And so now I'm 32, and I'm like, you know what? I can't work like I used to. And but I got into tech sales, and I haven't looked back ever since, man. I think the amount of work I put in, I'm seeing the results. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Right.
matching, the rewards are matching my effort. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing that I didn't like about the call center, is that like you could be working like an animal and you'd be getting paid like nothing. You know?
And it's funny because everything you were doing when you were working on Savory Cater, when you were working on Yum Yum Picks, that was all sales, going to
Mhm.
different businesses, and it was nothing. You were doing it easily, going to different businesses, meeting different business owners, pitching, collaborating. That's one thing I like about the entrepreneurship program at Suffolk is how you just had to go outside. It was like go outside and talk to folks. You're like, all right, I can do this. So I feel like
Yeah.
now I can annoy people all day now. Like it's not like it's nothing. We were going door to door back then. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah, man. Or like we were using like, oh yeah, I'm a student. Like
Yeah,
do
yeah,
market research. Like, yeah, like I'm just this like, I'm just like this gazelle, you know what I'm saying? And you guys are a tiger. Like, be gentle with me and just tell me all your secrets. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, I miss that. I miss being like a secret shopper. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like just going in there, just like pretending to be a customer, but really like you're collecting data. Like, oh, is this viable? Am I on the right track? What are the people that are already doing what I want to do, or the ones that I want them to be my customers? What are they already doing? What are they already going through right now? Um, I miss that stuff, man.
When did you decide to stop working on Saber Cater? What was it?
It was, um, it was around like I think it was like my my last hurrah was like probably like April 2018. That
Okay.
was like my last big um, event, right? Like my biggest customer. Um, he organized SwiftFest and DroidCon. He had the licenses. It's kind of like TEDx. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you have to buy the license. So I catered both of his events that happened in April. So um, I saw it as a great opportunity to like, since it's all these techies coming together for a conference, and those are the offices I want to be in. I made sure to cater it. I even made their plates if I had to, made recommendations, and I grabbed their cards. Make sure the best thing about the internet right now is that if I can get your first and last name, or your at least one part of your name and where you work, I could search you up, and be like, hey, I met you at SwiftFest. Curious if you're interested in free food. Like no one said no to free food. So um, yeah, man, it was a good ride. I wish one thing that and everything happens for a reason, but like one thing I wish I had learned um, was not all debt is bad debt. You know,
Right.
so like I had like you know anywhere from like 20 to 40 grand coming in and out of my business account, and I had no idea why this branch manager at my bank kept on calling me for a loan. Like, you were pre-approved for an express loan, $100,000. And like, coming from a background where I'm from, like, it's humble, and I was like, oh, no, 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 debt is bad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see the, oh wait, I can use that 100 grand to you know, build my business, augment it, because I was running at over 100% capacity, and after I crashed and failed, or I burnt out. I primarily burnt out. Like, I could have kept on going, but like my friends ended up telling me like, dude, when you're at 80%, when you think you're around 80%, you should start increasing capacity. And I was like, dude, where were you to tell me this, man? Like, you saw me working my ass off. You didn't tell me that? He was like, yeah, but like, when did you have time to come see me? I was like, you're right, man. Like, after I burnt out, is when I started seeing my friends. So, um, yeah, yeah, man, big lessons.
When you were done at Savory and you were working, did you want to go back into entrepreneurship? Or did you want to chill and just work for a while?
Um, I it like never left me. I like went through a few cycles, like maybe like 3 cycles worth of this. Like one cycle, I had 8 things going on. You know, second cycle, I would reduce, and then it would happen again. Then I would like spontaneously have like 8 things going on, right? So after like 3 times of that happening, I was like, why do I do this to myself? Like, um, that's when I was like, maybe I should just focus on, just chilling out instead of always being anxious. Like there's a saying in like Cantonese where like, you know, your ass is always itchy. Like you just can't stay put, right?
Hmm.
And so uh I was like, you know what? I did this to myself. Like I like even when I was in a job, I was all, I was thinking about my next move, like how do I escape? you know?
Right.
Um but that would intrude on like my day to day at work, right? Like, like it would affect my performance because I'm like daydreaming about, oh my god, how do I get back to being my own boss and not, taking this corporate stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel it all the time. I sometimes I can appreciate uh just work, chilling at work and doing it. I the Moonlight Club started a long time ago, so like there's times when it's passive before, so I've been able to like focus on work and do one thing, one small thing, or nothing, and be fine with it. It wasn't like when we were doing apps, but then there's sometimes I'm just like at work in a meeting, like God, I feel like such a bitch right now. Like you just get reminded of how much autonomy we used to have, and
Yeah,
we
yeah,
made all the decisions. So it's tough. There are times where I truly, I mean, and I'm unemployed now. I was laid off last year, and
oh,
it's that. It's like definitely having a job means more fun. So I'm very practical. Period. And I don't want to lie. I hate lying to people. Like I'm not like, oh, I'm not gonna care. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work hard if I'm here. But it's also like you're tuned in when it's time to be tuned in, but I'm never all the way tuned in. Like this is all I can think about. Like, but I know so many people that can be like that. They're like, nah, man, I just like my job. I'll be chilling. I'll go off, leave work, hang out, go back to work. It's fine. And I'm like, dang, I envy it. But I think that's the entrepreneur in all of us, where we're like things could be great, but you're like, I could be doing something else. What else is
yeah,
there?
yeah. Well, I think what's so great about being an entrepreneur is that we're working on things that matter to us, right? Like we're problem solvers, and I think, um, we're working on problems or an opportunity, right? That could potentially where like it could impact this audience. You know what I mean? Um, and so I think that that's what's so great about it is,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that that's the bug that we got. It's like, oh man, like this could be so much better. Like, why do we do it this way? Some people are just happy with where they are, but then like you could tell that they're not happy where they are because they complain about their life so much. And I'm like, I cannot be a victim to this, man. Like people all around the world are so much worse off, and we're, like not like what I've come to appreciate, Joel, is I woke up this morning and I can get it.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Right? Like it's all up to you. You know what I mean? Like it's like some people don't even have that opportunity.
How's sales?
Salesman, like I will say this new place that I'm at, I love it. I'm learning. I have a boss that cares about my growth. I won't say too much about my other place, but it was not. It was like it was not that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, cause like I will say that like uh, I got pipped, and and for the folks listening, PIP is a sales terminology for like performance improvement plan. And so I got PIP last year in April, um, and I literally was like, wait a minute, like I could be fired at the end of April if I don't perform. And I had followed my boss's, my ex boss's playbook to a T.
Mm.
And so I was like, okay, I listened to you, and by listening to you, I got here. So then I took it in my hands, and I was like, you know what? Like manifest destiny, man. I could just hear John McCoy just saying that to me. um, and I decided not to go into work. And I like looked up all these LinkedIn influencers, like sales gurus and stuff. And at the end of the month, bro, like okay, so in 6 business days, I crushed my quota. Okay, so then I knew that everything after that was just cream. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my god, like this is just I can kick my feet up a little bit, like because I already crushed my quota in the first week of April.
Nice.
Um, but I posted every day on LinkedIn. Um, and the reason being, okay, so like it was selfish, okay? If you ain't posting on LinkedIn, I recommend it. Like the reason I was doing that was because okay, I'm gonna post about my journey. I'm gonna document like how Gary Vee says, just document your experience. And the reason I did that was because okay, in the event that I do get fired, I have a trail for recruiters and potential employers to look at my progress, right, and growth as a sales professional, right? And I'm not even lying to you, like I was getting hit up constantly by recruiters after that.
Nice.
So I did it for selfish reasons. Like, okay, like if there's a chance that I could be fired from this place, then I better be starting. I wanted to create an inbound machine for me, right? I didn't want
Yeah.
to go out looking for all those companies, and that's actually how I got this new position. I actually like as soon as I put open to work on LinkedIn, I I was flooded. My inbox was flooded with interviews, and I was like, oh my god, this is exactly what I wanted. You know, I didn't have to search for them. They they were looking for me. So I don't know. Did I answer your question? I don't
Yeah.
know.
No.
I'm just
No.
rambling.
No. Hey, the rambling's good, man. It's been a while since we spoke. But it sounds like you're liking the gig here. People are investing in you. Um, would you ever? Do you have your sights set on another venture? Maybe not now. Maybe a year from now, 2 years from now.
Um, I do, I do. What I will say is that this company that I'm with, uh, I've never been a part of a startup where like there's like such heavy hitters in it. Right now, I'm just seeing this opportunity as like I want to learn. I want like right now we're like building the sales organization. I never saw myself as like a sales manager, right, or like building teams. But after being at like my old employer and then where I am now, it's like okay, like the reason I chose this place is because my boss who interviewed me um when he like I'd never been interviewed like this, Joel. I don't know if you have, but he looked at my resume and instead of looking at like my most recent, he looked at the Savory Cater and he asked me about it, and then he freaked out when he was like, wait, this was your business? Tell me more. What did you learn? What did you learn from that business? Blah blah blah. And he was so interested in like what I learned, right? With the Savory Cater, what I did with Dre, Yum Yum Picks, and I never had any like because coming out of college, when you told people that you were an entrepreneur, you were not hired. Okay,
Right.
they,
No.
they
No.
thought that you were a flight risk. I remember
Yeah.
you changing things on like Fittest, like I'm project manager, right? Dude, no one wanted to hire me. Like,
No.
if I was, if I put down CEO or founder, um, but my boss took a chance on me, and I never thought that anyone would be excited that I was a former founder. You know what I mean? So I thought
Yeah.
that this was good. Like they welcome that stuff, you know. And the thing is, I didn't even think that a place like that existed. You know.
Any advice you can give to a moonlighter who's in the place where you were 10 years ago?
Um, I mean, what I would say is like, don't. You know, it's like cliche to say follow the money. Um, but you know, like if you follow the money, don't fall in love with your idea. Make sure that your hypothesis or like what you think you're looking to solve is actually a real problem, and from there, that's when everything stems out, right? Like once you start getting sales, don't neglect back office. Like I was horrible at back office. um, I hate back office stuff, like admin stuff. Being an entrepreneur, I never learned how to hire, never learned how to train, retain talent. um, I only knew how to be a doer. You know what I mean? Like a technician, like just get out of the way, I'll do it. Right. Whereas Dina, who never had business education, but she's the oldest of five, like she's the oldest of five, and she's building out her team. Like she's built out teams before, and I'm like watching her delegate, and I'm like, ah, man, you know what? That's a skill that I want to learn. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just rambling, Joel.
Hey man, it's been a while since we spoke, man. These are good. These are good rambles. These are
Yeah.
nostalgic rambles, man. Well,
Yeah.
John, this is good. We got to connect soon. Well, I'm just gonna start doing these more often. What I think I'm gonna do is figure out a way for us to talk like in groups,
Yeah.
and we'll just stream it, man. Because we have a ton of experience and experiences that we can talk about.
Yeah, man.
Um,
I I'm thinking that because you're connected to a bunch of entrepreneurs, like maybe like you create like a Moonlighters group and like some sort of like mastermind. Because I remember the Asian entrepreneurship, the Asian Chamber of Commerce and Entrepreneurship, they did this thing where they had a bunch of entrepreneurs, and then like depending on where you were in terms of like revenue or like years in business, they grouped you with other entrepreneurs, and then you would like meet like I don't know, once every 2 weeks, once a month, and just talk. It can kind of be like a support group or like share with each other. You know what I mean? Like tips and
yeah,
tricks. I don't know.
nice little debrief.
Paid membership. You know what I'm saying?
It could
To
be.
keep this community
Yeah,
open. I don't know, man. I'm thinking.
I like it. I like the way you're thinking. I like it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we do need a we I created stuff in the past before, but I think I'll keep it simple, like LinkedIn it or something. Hey, we're
Yeah.
all here just in case we need each
Yeah.
other, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Because like I think we as entrepreneurs, like we're so busy.
yeah,
When do we find time to actually like find people right that understand us and what we're going through? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, John, this is great. This is great. We'll talk soon. We'll do more
Yeah.
check-ins. We'll figure out a way for us to connect on a group. I'm glad to hear from. It's glad to just talk, but
Yeah.
I'm glad.
What are
It's
you
good.
doing, man?
It's good. I'm good. DC, 18-month-old baby, married, moonlighting. But we me and
Congratulations, by the way, man.
oh, thank you. It's very. I'm fucking exhausted all the time. Excuse my language. Uh, but it's great. Like I like DC. I like DC. I still go up to
Mm.
Boston enough. What am I gonna tell you? Just went. Last September I went to Scandinavia, bro. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
Oslo,
never been.
Oslo. Do it, do it.
Mm.
Um, but no, life is good here, man. We got some stuff coming. We may have a couple events coming, and I applied for a couple of fellowships. Just looking for more work to do in this realm. But now I'm just connecting folks and doing more check-ins. So it's steady. It's been steadier than it has been in a while. So I'm
Mm.
happy about that. Um,
Listen, bro.
but yeah, man, everyone listening, thank you for listening, and just thank you for your time, John. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
We'll be back very soon with more check-ins and more moonlighters. Until then, I'll see you all later.